That being said, we are going to be hopping into our next game, Ruins of Saros. You know what? I hope that desRow isn't tilted. You know, I don't actually think that he's a player that gets severely tilted off of just a singular game or anything like that. He actually, despite, you know, not necessarily getting a massive results like, you know, a Huck or a Scarlet or something, he's got a lot of experience. He's been in the scene for a long time, and I feel like he's got the potential to bring this back.
Yeah, I think so too.
But we're going to be starting up here in the top right-hand corner of the map on top of the blue Terran player from Team Elevate Gaming and sitting up 1-0. Give it up for MaSa.
Looks like he's going for a gas first, but we'll get back to that later. Spawning in the top left of Ruins of Saras, the Protoss player from Nocturnal Gaming. It is desRow. Going for a gate first.
Indeed he will.
And it looks like they are actually spawning close positions, so not sure who this favors. I think maybe MaSa a little bit.
You know, it's sort of funny. I would say just because of the sort of aggression that MaSa puts on, I would actually say I like this a little bit better for desRow, because if you spawn in those vertical spawn positions, it's that close by air distance. Yep. MaSa is so scary when he can just continuously drop you so quickly at a moment's notice. You saw it's about being in position all that time to defend against the aggression, and you saw what happened when he's out of position just for a split second. If you have even less time to react.
Yes, especially since, in my experience anyways, maybe he'll prove me wrong, but I have, oh, nice block there from MaSa. I love that. I haven't seen desRow be much of a Stargate player. And with that close air position, without going Stargate, it's going to be pretty tough to deal with any kind of Widowmine drops, any kind of Liberator play, especially on this map. But yeah, nice play there from MaSa, actually stopping the SCV on the barracks, blocking that scout, and desRow's going to have no idea that this was a gas first.
Yeah, he's not going to know that there's already a factory plopping on down, that he is looking to get hyper-aggressive. He may have some suspicions just because, oh, well, you know, what are you hiding? Well, you're not planting down the command center just yet on the low ground, so I know it's not some sort of gas-less opening. But also, I think the big thing is when desRow sees, wait a second, you didn't actually ever send a Reaper to my base, that is what's going to be one of the big reveals, where desRow starts saying, oh, wait a second, do I need to start playing over-defensive right now?
Yes, yeah, but I just, that's just such a nice play. I just really want to highlight that from MaSa. Very, very clever, cheeky play. And the starport already going down, and it is going to be what seems to be a very fast Widowmine drop. And, of course, desRow saying, oh, you don't know anything, Steadfast. I'm going to open Stargate.
No, I mean, you know what, Stargates are just becoming a little bit more common in this matchup just because, you know, you have the Oracles, of course. Oracle's great for putting on the harassment. That's what a lot of people think of. But there has been this sort of weird transition toward the Phoenixes. And you know what? I've got to say, Phoenixes against a player like MaSa, we didn't get to see a lot of drop harassment out of MaSa in that last game, but he is definitely very capable of putting on a lot of harassment, and just making sure your opponent can't outposition you with medevacs is going to be a really, really great decision. And if he decides to go for Phoenix, I would love to see that. Even if it's not the first unit he makes, having them eventually would be great. Yeah,
I really do like Phoenix against this early aggression. Oh, looks like the Adept is going to get killed by that Widowmine. MaSa, you're a genius. You just know.
Just positions his Widowmine way further out than normal. Normally you put it at the top of the ramp. You're like, oh, well, you know, when they try and move up the ramp, they're going to have less time to react. No, MaSa's just like, I'm just going to catch you off guard. I'm going to mess with you. That's what MaSa does. He messes with you.
He does, and he's really good at it. I like this too, a Hellion follow-up, so he's probably going to drop the Marine medevac in the main. Oh, is desRow going to... Okay, this has to be a scout. There's no way he's trying to go for a third base this quickly. That would be pretty disastrous against what MaSa's going for.
Yeah, he just doesn't know right now, and he is making that Phoenix, which is actually going to be very helpful for dealing with the medevac.
Or a little bit out of position.
Oh, it's actually not very close to any of the pylons, and now it's actually being segmented off. MaSa's doing a great job of zoning it out. Finally, does get
baits out the overcharge.
That's the only one, and Warp Gate Technology is only just now finishing up. If he takes out the pylon before this first warp-in happens, there's not going to be any warp gates. There's only one gateway out of the map.
Recognizing this, desRow is pulling probes. That's a nice decision, but is it going to be enough? Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, there's an Oracle. Turn on your pulsar beam.
Oh, desRow,
turn it on.
He's busy with microing everything.
Okay, there we go.
SCVs are being pulled, though, at the same time. It's micro on both sides, but I think that MaSa is already doing a lot of damage over here. The Phoenix does manage to get some damage on the medevac, but the Marines manage to pick off that Mothership core.
And that
No more
Artosis
potion
pylon
overcharges.
is going to go down.
Oh, there's no more warp-ins available for desRow, and there's even Hellions inside of his natural expansion. Gonna kill any workers over there.
And
Liberator, oh no, there's nothing to deal with it.
Yeah, this just might be it. The cannon getting unpowered, and we see the GG. MaSa, I really want to highlight, blocking that scout early on was
So
what allowed
important.
that to happen.
There's no way that desRow sits around on one warp gate. If he knows that there is this very, very aggressive push coming in from MaSa, MaSa just showing up and saying, you know what, desRow, you're playing pretty good, but I'm better. I am just always going to be better.
Yeah, he looks almost bored.
Yeah.
Just casually sipping his Nestea. You know
was
what?
like
Maybe he
kinda-
has actual Nestea imprisoned in that can.
Maybe, man.
Yeah,
You know,
just sipping on Universe.
sipping on the universe.
Yeah.
Sipping on that knowledge base, but yeah, man, he looks like he's like ready to go back, maybe play some Hearthstone or something. He's looking pretty relaxed.
You know what? That's probably why he won that series so convincingly. He played some Hearthstone before that. Is like, oh man, I feel so relaxed. I really want to play some more Hearthstone. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna finish this game quick. And yeah, I want to get back to my all Murloc deck.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not gonna lie, that was actually a pretty straightforward game. I don't think we actually even need to go to the replay for that one. But you know, I do want to actually talk a little bit again about the prize pool, because first of all, MaSa is going to be moving on to face off versus Scarlet,
Yes, that is going to be an excellent match.
and that's already in the winners semifinals. And in fact, if I've heard correctly, please don't take my word on this just yet, but if I've heard correctly, that means that both Scarlet and MaSa are done for the day. We're not actually playing the winners semis until tomorrow.
That is potentially true.
Yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny this statement.
Potentially. We believe that to be the case. That is at least what I was told by somebody at the venue. And if that is the case, then wow, that is a short day for MaSa. I mean, Scarlet had a long day, but MaSa, very short day.
That only took him about maybe
It's
15
gonna be like,
minutes,
can I
20
go
minutes of
home?
playtime. Yeah.
It sounds like okay. It sounds like we are probably going to be playing winter semis later, but it is going to be, I believe, a good bit later. And we will probably be hopping into the losers bracket at some point as well, also playing some of those first round matches. But of course, I do want to remind you guys there is Neeb versus No Regret also happening a little bit later on, as well as Huck versus Puck. Both of those are really going to be great matches.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to, especially Huck versus Puck. Such a clash of micro.
Yeah.
Between those two players.
That is, you know, those two players, their names may be very similar. People might get them confused. They even have, in a weird sort of way, similar-ish playstyles, having that very heavy focus on APM-intensive micro and everything. But still, there's like these subtle differences that I love between the two players. Huck, more about those big attacks that come out at a very, very thin timing, very, very crisply executed attacks. Whereas Puck, really about the big macro play. I wouldn't even say winging it, but kind of playing his own style and doing harassment, very micro-oriented harassment that always leads into a late game.
And I think the thing about Puck is he's very precise, and
Yes.
Huck, he's okay with being a bit of a brawler. He is not afraid to get scrappy in a game. Whereas Puck would always prefer to play things out by the book. He would like to stand up, sit up straight, and hit his timings, and will play very precise. And if he's not playing precise, it kind of
throws
gets
him
under.
off.
Yeah, it throws him off a little bit. Whereas Huck, he actually thrives in that environment of chaos.
Yeah.
I feel.
Absolutely, and I think it definitely shows with just how the group stages ended up working out, because we ended up seeing Huck coming out of the group stages with a 5-2 score, whereas Puck obviously not feeling quite as good, especially in this offline environment and everything, sitting 3-4, actually going, as we mentioned before, you know, down below Semper. Now, first of all, I want to say, you
Semper's
shouldn't feel
really
too
good.
bad about that after seeing how Semper was playing today,
Yeah.
but still.
Looks like we are going to be going to the hosts.
Yeah, we'll hand it off to Troy Pavlik at the hosting desk.
Hey everyone, we're here in the hosting section with a bunch of the players and VIP guests all watching the show. And beside me, it's Endersword. He's our observer for the day. And what did you think of that game, observing? Was it stressful for you?
Not too stressful for me. It was a lot easier than the first game with Scarlet and Semper, where there were just drops all over the place. MaSa's a lot more straightforward than that.
All right, and one of our VIP guests. What's your name, friend?
I'm Rob, actually.
Hey, Rob, and who are you rooting for in this game?
I was actually rooting for desRow, but yeah, I was very, very impressed by how MaSa pulled all that off. It was just a whole lot of like probing and finding out all the defenses, and then just snap, the tables turned, and it was just an attack from all fronts. I mean, from one side of the map and the other side of the map at the same time, and it just, yeah, it really got out of hand really, really quickly.
So how are you liking Kings of the North so far? You've been in the VIP section for about a couple hours now, enjoying the show?
It's a great time. I just love the spectator sport of it, aspect of it all, and yeah, it's really, really interesting to watch the strategies and the different personalities play out. You can definitely see the personalities shine through in the playing style.
So Annie, you're beside me. You've been here for, yeah, a loud voice. You've been here for a couple days. You've been enjoying the company of the players. Who are you rooting for in this match between MaSa and desRow?
I think MaSa is definitely favored over desRow, sad to say, but we've got a few bets going around, and I don't know. I expect MaSa to 2-0 desRow.
So, speaking of bets, there was a bet going around the other day that desRow wouldn't win any of his round-robin matches, which Huck was on the 0 field of. Were you participating in that bet, and what was your wager?
I am not a betting man or a gambling man. I'm a hustler all the way.
All right, so we're going to keep enjoying games over here in the player area and the VIP area. It's going to be a great show, but for now, let's throw it back to Ravi and Steadfast on the casting desk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And kind of interesting to see how everyone's sort of doing their own sort of predictions about how things are going to go. And I actually think that we are going to be hopping to just a really quick recap of that last game, that last series, to see kind of how things are going and just maybe talk about, you know what, I think that there's a bit of betting against desRow. I'm in favor of desRow. I think that he's going to be able to do pretty well in the lose bracket because you know what, he's a motivated guy.
Yeah, let's go into the replays right now, take a look. And here's game 1 on Dusk Towers.
Those are those sick intros we did.
Yeah.
There we go.
And there's the other side.
Yeah, there's the other side.
And there's the mountain.
But, you know, I really do want to talk again, like, desRow in this first game. I really am glad that we're looking at this because we saw this earlier. This is, yeah, there was this kind of engagement that really ended up turning this game on its head. But desRow was looking very strong, and I do feel like he has the potential to make something happen in one of his next series. He was probably, I believe, going to end up playing against the loser of either, I think it's going to be No Regret versus Neeb? Or Huck versus Puck. It's one of those two.
Yes.
You know, I'm not going to lie, just in terms of predictions, I think a lot of people are predicting Neeb to beat No Regret. Even No Regret himself has said, I do not compare to a literal god. Like, I do not compare. I don't actually go up against him at all.
Yeah, here in this second game, this drop was so effective. Once again, it goes back to that denial of scouting. The Oracle did come in. It could have gotten a lot of damage
yeah,
done.
you know, that was another frustrating thing. If that Oracle had been going ham, suddenly maybe things turn around. And even if, imagine if the Oracle was back at home, killing off those Marines, suddenly the Marines aren't there to kill the Phoenix kills the Liberators, and even the Medevac. Things look very different in that situation. Yeah. If things just go a little bit different. That's the thing, right, is that the loss is very difficult. But it's the small things that could have changed, that could have turned things around.
Could have lifted the Widowmine with the Phoenix.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, didn't get that scout early on, and they're just...
Yeah, it
happened the way it happened.
That's the way it rolls. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be hopping to a short little break. Before we hop into our next series, we hope that you guys are enjoying the show. And, of course, do check out the Indiegogo page if you want to support the tournament and add a little bit to that prize pool. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're hopping to that break. We'll see you guys soon.